Hey there guys. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to create a viewfinder for whatever project you might need a viewfinder for. So a viewfinder helps us see a section of something closer up, possibly to enlarge it or possibly just to note details. So I have here a piece of cardboard from a hole punch that I purchased the other day, and I have a piece of cardstock, and I also have a piece of paper. So if you have a scissors, this is easier. So I'm actually going to create a square. So I can do this. If I fold this in half and then create a little rectangle, and then open it back up, I've just created a little window or viewfinder, right? If you have a scissors, this is so much easier. If you need it smaller, you could use a smaller section and make a little cut near the edge, a little cut near this edge, and then a cut, sorry, am I in the camera there? And then a little cut across here to the end, and then unfold it. Oh, that's more of a rectangle, not necessarily a square, but you could use whichever format you wish. If you don't have cardstock, you could use a piece of cardboard, like a piece of a cereal box or some other product. You could take the edge of a product. So I'm going to actually cut a square. And most of you will have, if you don't have a regular scissors, you might have a kitchen shears, which would work well. Cereal boxes are easier to cut with a kitchen shears. So I'm going to actually fold this in half as well. And I'm going to do the same thing. I want to cut kind of a thin rectangle so that I end up with a square in the center. So I'm going to make sure this is a rectangle this time. So a rectangle, right? Not a square. And then when I open it up, it'll be more of a square viewfinder. Okay? Unless I wanted a rectangle, in which case I would have cut further. Now, if you don't have a scissors, and all you have is a scrap of paper, so this is just a piece of paper that was in the trash, I could do the same thing. So an easy way to cut paper without a scissors is you fold it to whatever edge you want it, and you crease it. I'm pressing with the back of my fingernail. And you could actually lick this, but you don't have to. If you crease it one way and then crease it back the other way several times, it softens the fibers right there where the paper is being folded. And then I can kind of hold it near the fold and pull that. So now I have kind of a square. I might need to cut it a little bit more, so I'm going to cut a little bit more off just by folding this paper. You could do this with notebook paper. You could do this with like discarded mail, those ridiculous junk mail pieces of paper that you get. Junk mail is perfect for making these. All right, so I'm going to tear that off. Oops, it didn't cut exactly perfect, but I can always go back and tear it a little bit more. All right, so now I have basically a square. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the cardstock, except I'm going to use my fingers to do the tearing. So, oops, sorry. I'm going to fold this in a little bit, crease it back the other way, and then I'm going to tear that in just a little bit. So I want a rectangle. I'm going to fold this one in, and crease it. Remember to be creasing and cutting near the fold, because you want the hole in the middle and you don't want to cut the edges. Otherwise you'll end up with not a window, right? You'll end up with kind of a ladder looking thing, right? So I'm going to tear that in just a little bit. And your edges don't have to be absolutely perfect. It's fine. Okay, so I'm making my rectangle. I'm going to crease this back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to crease it back the other way. You can also use like something hard, like the edge of a pen, to kind of crease that, make that crease nice and deep. And then I'm going to tear that apart. You'll notice I'm holding it with my thumb and my pointer finger. Sorry, I have a little blood blister under my fingernail from setting up an archery stand this summer. Okay, so once I have that, I can open this up, and I have, it's not perfect, but it's a nice kind of a rectangle, kind of a square, and I'm going to use this on an image that I want to enlarge. So say I'm wanting to enlarge, sorry, oh, can't find this paper. There we go. Say I want to take this image and I want to just take a part of that and put that in another composition. So I'm going to find the part that I like, and I'm going to enlarge that on my rectangle of paper or square of paper. So you can do the same thing with a small viewfinder or a large viewfinder. Okay, so that's how to create your own viewfinder to enlarge or find details in an image.